What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Run Pure Sports Showdown video for Thursday Night Football. We finally have a good one. It's been a rough stretch, man. Some of these games have been pretty brutal to break down and talk about. We have a very appealing game with a big total in the mid-50s and some injury news on top of it. Tons of value plays, tons of good spends as well. So we'll be breaking it all the way down. It's going to be a fun game. I'm looking forward to it tonight. As always, joined by my friend and co-host, Mr. Big T, the giblet maker himself. What's going on, brother?
What's going on? Yeah, we got some scoring tonight for once. We're used to these games where we got to dig a little harder. We got some injuries tonight too, which should open up theoretically a bunch of value. It's perfect showdown slate, I think, and a bunch of info to keep our ears out for. Yeah. I'm excited.
Yeah, and there's guys to spend up for. There's full-on punts. There's mid-tier plays. I mean, there is a lot of guys in play. We'll break it all down, but before we do so, got to go through the motions here, and we got to get you guys first off to like the video. We always give gear away if we hit certain numbers. We'll circle back on that in probably about 10 minutes, see where we're at. Pick a number of likes we have to get to, and we'll give away a piece of gear. Hit the subscribe button as well. That helps us continue to do these free shows for free. The more likes, subscribes we get, the more often you get Mr. Big T and myself on your screen for free. Usually this is a premium show, but like I said, we're doing it for free today. We have a promo going right now up till NBA season starts, which is crazy in a week. Is it a week? Less than a week, 5 days. The regular season, the preseason, our team has been doing a phenomenal job with the content on preseason. JSU has headed that up. It's kind of been a full team effort. Even I've been in there. I've never played preseason NBA until this season, kind of got into it. And man, if you follow the news and follow, there's a massive edge. I mean, the contests aren't massive or anything, although DK did roll out some pretty big ones lately, but team's been crushing the preseason content. The promo code to get 15% off for life, as long as you stay on board with Run Pure, is Buckets15. And the one thing we have on our site that I think is different, well, I'm pretty sure it's different than just about any other site out there. We don't have any of the upcharging stuff for every sport. I know a lot of sites you register for, okay, well, your registration's good for football season, but now the basketball starting, you got to pony up another $300 or whatever it may be, $250. Ours is one price fits all type of thing. So the price we have right now is $80 a month. It gets you absolutely everything on the site, including showdown stuff. But yeah, with that 15% off, that brings you down into the mid to upper 60 range. And as long as you stay on, you're good. That price stays good all the way through your entire time that you're with us at Run Pure Sports. If you want the bets package as well, it's just $20 add-on, or $100 for absolutely everything minus the 15. So what is $85, Tony, for bets, showdown, DFS, everything? I've been rambling. Maybe you can add something to the conversation.
Yeah, I mean, I see every time we talk about this though, but right now, 15% off, $85 for as long as you're a member. I mean, $85 for the whole site. It's just crazy, the amount. I'm not even saying it because it's our site. I mean, I am, but it's just a good value. I mean, these bets guys, everyone's.
I gotta say, Joey Work, man, he is freaking phenomenal. I mean, absolutely phenomenal.
The college hoops,
crushing the hoops, and it's there's edge in that stuff, and he finds them, man. He's a phenomenal. I mean, I'm not huge into sports betting, I will say, but he is a phenomenal sports bettor, phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, everybody since we've started, I mean, it's documented. Everyone is in the plus column. And I mean, that's impressive in itself. We got 6 people, counting myself, over there that have put up a decent amount of plays, and everyone's in the plus column. So can't beat that. And it's $85. Even if you don't gamble, it's going to be 80 or 65 for the DFS. You just another $20 gets you the bets. I use it a ton for the DFS too. If you go in there tonight, look at the bet sheet, see a ton of people on the over or something, that makes you like the points a little more. Maybe they like the under, and all of a sudden we maybe go a little more defensive on the showdown type thing. Yeah. So tons of info. They're in the Discord too. We got Discord for both of them. The Discord is the best thing on both sides. I mean, the DFS, and you can ask them anything on the bet side. They're answering it. Yeah. Love it. No reason not to.
Yeah, I mean, although I will say if they're going under in this game, I still don't think I'm taking the defensive approach when building my teams tonight. I will say that because not only do they have, I mean, obviously some key offensive guys out, but each team has like 3 or 4 key defensive guys out as well. I guess we'll just kind of segue
I gotta
right
say
into
this about the defense too, because I left myself a note the other night. I've been beating the drum about the D's all year where you got to have. I'm so tired of playing these freaking defenses. Like I'm just going to start crossing them off. If the defenses beat me, they beat me. I'm just done with them. Like every time I like a D, they never do anything. And it just hurts because you like feel like you're just dead. Like once they start scoring, like
it's
the other
over.
night was supposed to be a defensive game a little bit, and
Yeah.
got -2 or something until the very end. It's just. I'm done with the D's. If they beat me, they beat me.
It just seems like there hasn't been many slates where the D's you needed the D. I mean, obviously it's going to happen.
You know they're going to tonight. There's going to be a six right out of the gate.
Yeah, I mean, it's happening. Like I said, there's a ton of injury news. Obviously, the biggest news on the Chargers side, no Mike Williams, and there's some weird language around Keenan Allen. I can't imagine him playing. They said if he did play, it would be in a limited fashion. Like they're out of playoff contention. Obviously, they're a dead team right now. I can't see Keenan Allen being out there. I mean, I'm sure we'll get some clarity, but I mean, for the purpose of this video, for this show, I'm going to proceed with Keenan Allen being out. I mean, do you have any strong take the other way?
Yeah, I'm pretending him and Mike Williams are both out. And if we have to adjust the other way, then we adjust the other way with some news. I mean, man, it's going to be really hard to play Keenan, and it's going to be super tilting when they say all this and say he's limited and blah, 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 which makes him unplayable to me. And then just magically he just plays the full game and goes off, and it's going to be tilting. Yeah. But I don't think I can use him unless we hear something different before kick.
I mean, hopefully he's just ruled out and then you don't have to worry about it. But I mean, to me, it seems very likely that I mean, why would they roll him out in a limited fashion? Like
only reason is because their friggin' coach is a moron.
Yeah, well, exactly.
He's gonna do ever. I mean, this is the same team that would have never even played Herbert unless the damn doctor gave the starting quarterback the wrong needle or whatever the hell happened.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't count anything out with this team.
How does this guy still have a job? And these are the situations that kill me the most, like teams with a young, promising quarterback that are just rolling out a dead coach. I mean, it just slows them down so much. But for showdown purposes, I mean, we should have an offensive game here. I mean, the total has remained in the mid 50s. It's been anywhere between, well, now it's down to 52. It's come down a little bit. It was 55, I know. So it's come down solid 3 points, but still 52. Raiders slight favorites, 3.5. Let's just talk about the Chargers side first. And, like I said, with Keenan Allen, likely, I think Mike Williams is definitely going to be out. So I don't think there's any question.
God, he pissed me off last Sunday too. I had some good teams. I pivoted onto him because I had Herbert, and man, I had like Hurt after our Wood show with DC. Got me on Hurts. I had Hurts. We always talk about these freaking pivots, but it's only tilting because I had Hurts, Devontae, and Rager. And I mean, it wasn't an incredible threesome, but I was able to have a dead flip to Herbert, Keenan, and Mike Williams. So it gave me perfect correlation. Oh God. And then Mike Williams just doesn't play. Like, just shoot me. When you pivot onto a guy and then you just don't know he's going to be out and then he just doesn't play.
Did he get hurt earlier? Or he just was
I think he got hurt in warm-ups from everything I understood. Just so frustrating though when it's your best. It's kind of how the season's gone for me. It hasn't been a great season, but just gonna keep battling. We're gonna
gotta battle, man. That's what it's all about. Just continuing to battle. Adjust the contest you enter, and adjust your mindset and keep pounding. I mean, that's all you can do. Okay, so
all it takes is one.
Just one, man. Just one. So with Mike Williams out last week, this Tyron Johnson dude just kind of stepped right in. 7 targets, 6 receptions, 55 yards, and a touchdown. He looked good out there. Obviously had some sort of connection with Herbert. His ownership will be inflated because he had that big game last week. Now not only is Mike Williams out, Keenan Allen's likely out as well. The 3 wide receiver set is going to be, Tyron Johnson. It sounds like KJ Hill, and the other dude is Jalen Guyton. three pretty unknown guys from a DFS perspective, fantasy perspective. How are you handling these wide receivers? I mean, I personally feel like you kind of need exposure to all of them. Like I wouldn't be willing to cross off any of them. Probably heavy exposure to all three for me. Maybe you're approaching things a little bit differently.
No, exactly the same. And I do think that Johnson and Guyton are by far the best. But that being said, like these other guys could easily get worked in. They like to spread it around anyways with Herbert. We've seen multiple games where random dudes are catching touchdowns, like the XFL tight end guy caught one week, that Parham, and they just got a bunch of people in here that you can play. I mean, obviously I like the good guys more like Tyron and Guyton, but I'm not removing any of them, and it gets even more complicated because with Keenan Allen and Mike Williams out, Ekeler becomes just like mortal lock for me. I don't know how you would even consider fading him in anything, and almost it's to the point where I like him so much that I think it could be just like a lock button captain night where I know he's going to be popular, but maybe we just lock him in the captain and he's just going to smash. There's no – assuming Keenan is out or limited.
Let's put some numbers on it. Let's say, okay, obviously he has massive upside. I mean, he has the potential in the spot to maybe be the right captain without even getting in the end zone. Like he
easily.
You know what I'm saying? So, like
if he scores literally like 15 balls.
Yeah. If he scores a touchdown, what are the odds that he's the captain you need in your opinion?
Honestly, with a guy like him, I don't even worry about the touch. Like, if he gets it, he gets it.
Yeah.
Like, I see him as literally like catching. I mean, what is his prop tonight?
It was like 5.5 before.
Like he's gonna go over no matter what.
Before the news, that was before.
He's gonna catch 10 balls tonight. Like he just.
Yeah. I guess the point I was trying to make, like if he scores a touchdown, I think he's almost a virtual lock to be the guy that you need in the captain spot. He's going to get carries. He's going to get a ton of targets. Like
they don't have any targets. Like he's just gonna crush. The only way he doesn't crush is just injury. Or I guess if you get just a terrible game script and somehow they're just rolling on offense or something and they can run Balaj and stuff. But I don't think that's going to happen anyway. So
they have him it's still at 5.5 on DK, but massive juice on the over, like minus 170.
I hate those bad. Like I'd rather them make it like 7.5 with plus juice than 5.5 with the massive.
Yeah.
I don't want to lay 170. Like give me 2 extra catches. I'd rather just take the over 7.5 or something. Hopefully it goes up.
Yeah, they'll probably adjust at some point. But, I mean, his rushing prop is right around 60, massive juice on the over. His receiving prop is, right around 45. So he's like with Guyton out of all these dudes. I think he's a phenomenal play tonight as well. And, I mean, this is a situation where the game script could end up being pretty good for the Chargers pass catchers. And the nice thing is it's like we've had so many of these like touchdown dependent running backs, over the course of the last few showdown shows. Like we don't have that. So you don't have to worry about it. Like you can get their whole offense, which would be in a good spot if they're playing from behind or ahead. You really don't have to worry about the game script, in my opinion, when you're building these teams tonight. I mean, maybe on the Raiders side you do with a guy like Jacobs, but I really love all these guys. Henry, all the wide receivers, Ekeler. To me, I don't think you really want to get too cute on the Charger side. Like we know the guys. I mean, we know them, and they're all cheap. So for me, that's just my mindset when I'm talking about the Chargers guys. I'm not getting cute on the Charger side. I know the dudes.
Yeah, no, I agree. And the hard part for me with this game, honestly, is I like the Chargers way more than I like the Raiders. And they're the team that's the dog. And if they didn't just have this damn coach that you just don't know what you're going to get. Like I just like these guys. I mean, all the way down the list, even the scrubs I feel good about. The kicker I feel good about. I mean, even Balaj, I'm not going to play Balaj probably that much. But he's 2,400 as like the running guy. He's gonna get some work at 2,400. He just is. So there's not really anybody I don't like at these prices. Whereas the Raiders side, if we flip it over to there, I don't necessarily like anybody. So that's where it's kind of for me.
That was going to be my question, because we're going to want a lot of ownership on the Chargers side. We're going to want exposure to all those guys. You flip it over to the Raiders side, and they've kind of turned to a pass-heavy team a little bit, and Derek Carr has actually looked pretty good lately. Waller's getting a ton of attention. Nelson Aguilar has been phenomenal this season. I mean, not just good, he's been really good. They're without Ruggs today, so they have injury news on their side too. Without Ruggs, Renfro bump, Aguilar bump. Maybe this Edwards dude's finally get something going at $400. I definitely prefer the Chargers side. I think all those guys are in a really good spot, but man, it's hard not to like these Raiders guys either. So that's where you come into play here. We need to make stands. All those guys on the Chargers that we talked about, they're going to have good ownership. These Raiders guys are going to have pretty solid ownership as well. What can we do today to make our teams a little bit different than the field?
For me, I'm liking the Chargers so much that I think I can get different by fading. I mean, like, there's basically, we talk about this all year on these showdown shows, but man, I'm going to have a hard time playing Jacobs, and he's going to be very chalky to where, I mean, right now they got him 65% owned on here. I think that it might even be higher. Like, as a favorite with all these value guys, I just feel like he's going to be massively owned, and I just don't like him. I mean, I'm sure you definitely have to like him more than me, because
well, I mean, it's the same thing.
If you don't like him, then I'll really be excited.
Well, I mean, it's the same thing we've been pounding all season long. I mean, his style of game doesn't fit what you want on DK, and he's going to need a touchdown. And those guys, they've gotten their own. I mean, listen, guys, we've been doing these videos every single showdown guy. Slate. These guys have gotten there every effing time.
Gus Edwards trolled us.
Gus Edwards 2 touchdowns.
God, he was a
Chubb 2 touchdowns. I mean, just I mean, people. I am shocked at how many people, like, going through contests, how many people actually rostered Gus Edwards in that spot. Like, what an awful play. I mean, just
I will
a terrible
still swear
play.
by it, though. I don't care how many times Gus Edwards beats us. I mean, he's a bad play. I'll lose the rest of my life and fade Gus Edwards. Like, I can't do it.
I mean, if I'm fading anyone on the Raiders side, it has to be Jacobs, because I like these other guys. I like Carr. I like Aguilar. I like Waller. To me, it's a tough day for me to get different, because I really like all these guys. Renfro at 4.8K. So for me, I mean, definitely, if I'm taking a stand, it's going to be to not play Jacobs. And there's a little spot to hedge too. We're going to talk some monkey knife fight real quick after we go through DK. And there's a couple spots on monkey knife fight that I like that include Jacobs. So we'll talk about it. You get maybe a little spot to hedge. We have a partnership with monkey knife fight as well, which we'll discuss after we talk about DK. But man, I'm struggling though, because I like all these guys a lot. Like, I want to play all of them. And like I said, Jacobs would be, if I had to cross one off, he'd probably be the guy I cross off.
Yeah. So another guy you said you like that we can definitely cross off is Hunter Renfro. Like, oh my God, he's bad. Like, dude, I just pulled up his box scores, like 7, 8, 14, 5, 5, 8, 12. Like, he hasn't got more than 14.
That's what we think different though, man.
Woo,
I'm looking at
I get it for the floor. I'm not talking cash. Like, I get it completely for the cash. But, man, I have a hard time playing him in a Millie Maker type format. Ooh.
Yeah, see, I'm looking at those targets. So 9, 6, 7, Ruggs out now. Like, I like him. But, yeah, I can see he's more – okay, once again, you hate white wide receivers.
You're the one dude in chat always says they're my guys.
You hate – don't say the white wide receivers are Tony's guys. Tony literally hates white wide receivers. There is no argument needed.
This is always my favorite too, what we do on these shows. Like, the dude in chat, no way Renfro's a fade. Like, guys, we're doing the show. We're not going to tell you to play every single person in the game. Yeah. Like, anyone can come on here. We can come on here for an hour and just name off every play in the game. Oh, he's a great play. Aguilar's a great play. That wouldn't tell you anything. Like, we're going to tell you to make stands. We'll miss here and there. We'll hit here and there. We're going to give our takes. We're not going to – I'm not going to tell you to play every dude. I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm struggling today with finding fades. I won't lie. Like, we've done, I'm usually chalky guy, and I've struggled. But you got to give me some credit. I've turned the page a little bit on that.
We really haven't had an issue with the chalk thing.
Yeah,
we faded him a bunch, and it's worked out most of the time. But again, we're trying to win these tournaments. We use the example every show we do. You should put a couple entries in. We're talking mainly to the people doing this for fun. It's just try to win the thing. Like, don't play everybody. The worst thing you can do tonight, if you're playing 5 teams in this Millie Maker or whatever the tournament is tonight, the small one, is play 5 different captains with a little bit of everyone mixed in.
Yeah.
That is a terrible, terrible way to do it. And I will never recommend you to do it that way, ever.
What did you say Jacob's ownership was looking like?
I mean, I think it'll be around 70 with them favorites.
Yeah, so that's where I'd go.
Definitely in the 60s.
Yeah, his work's getting cut into a little bit. 8.8K. I mean, not super active in the passing game, although he did see 5 targets last game. He's got to get in the box. He's got to score a touchdown. And these are the guys that have scored like 2 touchdowns in the first half right in our face all season long. But that's the guy that I would fade. He will have high ownership. He definitely, and it's easy to get up here. I mean, with all the value plays on the Chargers side, it's easy to get up there. I don't know. Raiders been passing the ball a ton. I'm just gonna side with that passing game in large field GPPs. I'll be off Jacobs.
I love the dude in chat says when Big T thought Richard Rodgers was white.
Yeah, that was fun. You're talking about it.
I thought he was white.
You said it a couple of times. I'm pulling up the player card on DK. I'm like, man, maybe my screen's a little dark or something, but I don't think Richard Rodgers is white.
Oh, that was.
I do remember that. I do remember that
after the season of some of the good stuff we said, but
yeah.
I mean, also the one NASCAR race was trucks, and it wasn't trucks. So I've had a few good ones along the way.
That was our first. That was our first ever Run Pure show, I think. Right?
It was like one of them. It might not be the first, but it was
the first or second. And I think it was you and I, and you'd thrown out the trucks, and I just went with it. Yeah, the trucks, and come to find out, it definitely wasn't truck. It was just Xfinity Series, which I always thought it was a truck series too. But we have a couple guys, Matty Ice and Coop, big time NASCAR contributors on the website. They follow the trucks, NASCAR, Xfinity. They had a good laugh. They had a good laugh, and it was an ongoing joke for a while. It was a lot of fun. Whenever you can make fun of Big T about something, it's fun, and you just have to continue to do it. Just like the Carson Wentz thing, it's never going away. I mean, and you're making it worse. You refuse to just accept it, but I don't know what hope you're holding out for, but we don't need to go there today.
Hoping for a trade to the Colts with his coordinator.
Yeah, well, good luck. If you're a frequent viewer of our shows, our love for kickers. We like the kickers. Today's a day I think it might be a little bit different, man. We got these cheap guys on the Chargers side. We have some cheap dudes for the Raiders, and it's not just like cheap guys that we're hoping grind out value. I mean, these cheap guys today have a chance to put up some big fantasy points. I mean, Guyton, big upside. Johnson, dude, big upside. Hill, upside. I don't know. I mean, this might be the lowest ownership I have on the kickers all season long, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they're going to be super low on tonight. And you got the quarterbacks. When people play the quarterbacks and the captain, they want to obviously pair them with 2 pass catchers like we talk about on all of our shows. So naturally, when you're playing these guys in the captain, you're going to play more receivers, which just doesn't get you to the kickers. Yeah. I mean, they're definitely in play still, especially with like the Ekeler lineups where you have Ekeler. Maybe you fade one of the quarterbacks. It could even be you play the running game from the Raiders and fade the whole passing game type thing. There's just so many paths you can do, which is why I love showdowns. They're definitely still in play, but I agree with you. Like, I don't think you can play both kickers. So there's a rule right out of the gate. Max one kicker. If it hits in there, it hits in there. But you still want to be correlated to where it's tough to play both of them tonight for sure.
So much value. I mean, so many cheap dudes.
I do think it's still good cash, right? Though, like in cash.
Yeah.
Play them over guys in cash. Maybe not Guyton if those guys are out, but some of the like cheaper punt guys. Wouldn't you rather have a kicker?
Yeah, I would for sure. Definitely would probably side with the kickers in that situation. But in tournaments, I would definitely side with those other cheap dudes for sure. Defense, you said you're out on defense.
Just because I like to interact with the chat, the dude in there says Gus Edwards wasn't in the optimal with 2 touchdowns, which is true because the score was friggin' 50-50. So like it was definitely a crazy game. How that would have been painful too if you had the bad play in Gus Edwards and then you didn't even have the optimal with him when he scores twice. Like that is rough. But back to your original question, defenses, I'm done with them. Like, mark my words, I don't care what the game is the rest of the season when we do these. Maybe when we get to the playoffs, it could be different when things get a little tighter. But I promise for the next 3 weeks, I refuse to play. If you see me with a defense, I'm sending you some gear, whoever's watching this. I will not on any team. Like, no defenses. I'm done with them. I've tried to make them happen. It isn't happening, and I'm done with it. I just can't do it anymore. If they beat me, they beat me.
Yeah. It's been a rough ride for the defenses. And, we've talked about the defenses. We've talked about some of the correlation plays, associated with the defense. We talked about like Duvernay and the Ravens last game. That obviously was a full-on disaster and didn't work out. It's tough with the man. Like, you're really dependent on these touchdowns, it feels like, and if they don't get the touchdowns, you're like dead. I mean, you're really dead. And then if the team comes out and scores 25 points, you're most likely dead no matter what with the defenses if it's a high scoring game. So I'm with you. I typically don't play them a ton, but I'm gonna try to stay away too. Anything else? I mean, I feel like
I ran these teams before. I forgot I even ran them. This number 1 team right here is just so good, and it uses all the salary, which we don't ever recommend really to do in the big tournaments. But Ekeler, Herbert, Guyton, Carr, Waller, and then a punt, Brian Edwards.
Yeah,
that team is just so freaking good. It has no chance to be the optimal, but just a great team. Like, so let's see. Like,
you mean he has no chance to solo ship? Is that what you meant?
No chance to solo ship. Yeah, it could be the optimal. I might have phrased that wrong. It could definitely be the optimal. It was definitely not solo ship.
You're sharing with a lot of friends. You're going to be sharing with a lot.
Possible, by the way. Like, do you think it's possible to ever solo ship using the full 50K?
I don't think so.
Impossible, right?
I don't think so.
Unless you just did something.
Unless you're playing like a backup quarterback in there with the main quarterback gets hurt, and that would be like the only chance.
You'd have to dig deep. I mean, like, leaving a little salary is going to help you. But I mean, even like this next build one, you would like Ekeler, Guyton, Tyron, Herbert, and then Renfro and Carr. I mean, there's just the teams are going to look really juicy tonight for sure. So definitely leave some salary. I mean, one thing I like to do you asked how we can get different. Literally do the same thing we were doing, but just lower it to where you're leaving 1,000 plus on every team.
Yeah.
We do this a lot on these shows, and then you run it. And I have a feeling when this runs, all the teams are going to look just as good. We're not even going to take the salary out of it and don't notice that you're leaving that much. And you're not even going to notice. Like, the team's going to look just as good as it looked before. So let's see what the optimal comes up with. 1,100 left on the table. I have a feeling it's going to be just as good.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to look much different. We have really good value plays and guys that are all super appealing. So even when you're leaving the 1,500, 2,000, whatever it may be, teams are still going to look solid. And I mean, that's going to be the same case for your opponents too. Like, it's hard to make a team tonight with these playable guys that isn't going to look good. You know what I'm saying?
Really? I mean, we talked about it. There's not really anybody. So here we go. We got, Daniel Carlson is in that one. I like that team. Ekeler, Guyton, Tyron. So it's basically the same team we just showed, except Carlson instead of Renfro. So it's literally, you're leaving 1,200 on the table, and it's just a tasty team. I mean, it's just, I like it. You notice all the Chargers guys in these, though. Like, the Chargers guys definitely look like better plays to me. One way to do it, I know we talked about fading Jacobs. One way to do it, though, I see a path where you could play Jacobs as your only Raiders guy and just hope they somehow pound them on the ground and just all Chargers with it. And maybe they go back to the ground game and he scores 3 times. It just shows you in these showdown contests, you shouldn't get pigeonholed into just one way. Like, there's lots of paths. But the most important part is to pick your path and go with it. Like, just go with it. Like, Jacobs naked is better than Carr naked. Like the chat's saying, Carr naked, no good. I agree completely. Obviously, I would never want to play Carr by himself.
I mean, the only time I'm really playing a quarterback naked is if it's like a running quarterback, a Lamar or Kyler Murray, guys like that. Like
even then, I think it's rough, but I agree.
Yeah, you want at least one. I especially in the showdown stuff. I mean, obviously on full slates it's different. Like you can play naked core, but on the showdown stuff, you want a receiver for sure, in my opinion. And I mean, there's just, I mean, what's the path to Carr naked winning? Like, what's the path? You know what I'm saying? There's not.
It just shows you how these optimizers, though, if you're not setting rules with these optimizers, you're going to end up with builds that don't have a chance to win. I mean, Carr as your only Raider guy is probably not going to win. Like, that's just the honest truth.
I mean, he's a throwing quarterback. I mean, it's the path. The
only way is if they don't score. Like, if they just get blown out and he's the leading scoring guy, like, that's the only path, and that's not happening tonight. So
very rare. I mean, just a very, very rare occurrence for that to happen. I'm going to talk some monkey knife fight. Anything else on DK before we talk some monkey knife fight real quick?
No, I want to find these monkey knife fight winners here.
Yeah, so we got a partnership with Monkey Knife Fight. The promo code is RunPure. Use that. It's $50 match on your first deposit. And I mean, the real situation here where you win is if you sign up on our website and get in the Discord. It's very active. A lot of people posting plays in there throughout the day. I mean, I'm new to Monkey Knife Fight, and it's been a good ride. I mean, people have been doing quite well. I have a few that I like. I got on a few early in the week for this game. I think they released them probably Tuesday morning maybe, and they're really light on Herbert and Carr. Like their fantasy point numbers were both under 20. So I got the over on both. I think the over on Carr I got it like 16. So there's an edge getting on them early, and I'm posting these plays in the Discord. A little bit bummed now with Keenan Allen out because I felt so much better about those overs prior to that news, and Mike Williams being out obviously too. But still feel good. I still think there's some plays on here that we can take advantage of in tonight's game. Do you have it up on your screen so we can kind of okay, cool. Let's just kind of scroll through and see what we can find.
Yeah, I was just starting with the fantasy points just because obviously we've been talking a bunch about this. I mean, the first one's just Jacobs and Henry, 14.5, 10.5.
Okay, so this is one I like. And I mean, Henry over 10.5 I think is a really good play. His projections on most sites are 13-ish range with assuming Keenan Allen's out, which, we kind of are. I think that 10.5 is a very good number. Now with Josh Jacobs, we don't necessarily love him for showdown all that much, but I kind of think 14.5 is a little bit light on him as well. Like, if I'm going to project him, it's probably 16-ish, 16.5, 17-ish. So, I mean, I like the overs on both these. Earlier, there's a play. I know you can do the first half only. We'll check that out after we go through, but they had first half only on both these guys, and the numbers were like really low. It was like 6 or 6.5 for Jacobs and 4.5 for Henry. So once we go through these full game things, we can check that out as well.
Yeah, I just put that one in. I had to give me a little 50 spot on that. That one looked tasty as you were talking about it.
And it's a nice hedge. If you're gonna fade Jacobs on the showdown slate and he scores the 3 touchdowns, you're gonna be bummed, and then you're gonna say, oh, you know what? I made that play on Monkey Knife Fight. Now I don't feel as bad about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm starting to warm up to Jacobs a little bit. The more I think about it, just because of path. Like, yeah, we'll talk about it when we get to FanDuel. But I'm starting to warm up a little bit more to him, just because it's really hard to get what I want without picking one of the running games to kind of get it going a little bit. But we'll get back to it.
Yeah.
See what else they got. So Ekeler 20.5, Waller 16.5.
So they bumped those guys.
I love Ekeler over, but man, Waller at 16 feels somewhat right.
Yeah, it feels pretty. I mean, 20.5. I mean, yeah, I do love Ekeler, but that's still a pretty big number though too. I mean,
I think he's gonna like totally smash. Like I think he's gonna get like 30.
Yeah. I mean,
That's all you need on Monkey Knife, though, is you need to just feel good about one guy, right? And then just bury all the ones that he's in there.
Yeah, bury him with everyone else. Yeah, just fire on everything else.
I don't like Waller at 16.5 much at all, though.
Yeah, but I mean, he's been getting a ton of targets. I mean, a ton. Let me pull it up real quick. 17. He had that huge game, and then followed up with 10 last week. No rugs. Maybe get some more deep looks. It's a tough game to peg a lot of these guys on the under. I mean, you're talking a game that
you've given all these winners to the people in Monkey Knife. I'm about to give my first one, and it's just a total lock. So I got to
man. I'm excited.
Oh, it's going in right now. This is like my dream one. The next one.
Oh yeah.
Herbert over Carr. You only have to give 3.5 fantasy points.
Yeah.
And then Ekeler over Waller, you only got to give 4.5. It correlates too. If the Raiders are winning and the Chargers are behind, yeah, this is a winner. This is going in. I got to get it in here before the line moves. Well, I'll just put a little hundy on it.
I do really like the Ekeler versus Waller portion of that. I don't know, the quarterbacks are a little tougher, but like you said, though, it correlates together.
Though, like if your script is right, and
if Waller, I mean, if it's very simple, if Ekeler has a big game, most of that's going to come through Herbert, right? So
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't see any way he's not catching 10 balls for us tonight. Like, I just feel he's going to crush.
If you pull up, go to a new game and pull up the first half for this one. I don't know if it's still out there, and we'll see. But there's that Henry one that I liked. You could get it. Oh yeah, it's still there. If you go to the first half, and then it's
right here. I got it up.
Yeah, the Jacobs Henry 6.5, and then 4. I mean, that 4.5 number is just that's hurtful. That's hurtful for Mr. Henry. That's a hurtful number. So I mean, I definitely like the overs there. Jacobs gets in the end zone. I think that's a virtual lock, obviously. So I really like that
for 50. It looks tasty.
It is very tasty. It's like my favorite.
That prop is not hurtful.
No.
I mean, being the GPP type guy, though, you got to find me one where I can I got one. I put in 200 earlier today. I got to get my last 50 because we got the $50 bonus too with the thing. This is the first time I've deposited today, so I got my 50 with the Run Pure code. So I got that 50 left, my free 50. I want to put it on something tasty here. What's the biggest thing I can
deep
get?
odds? Some deep odds.
Yeah, there's a 20-1 here.
Are you going to the full game, or are we still in the first half here?
No, I got to go full game for my big dog. Give me max rooting ability here.
All right, let's see. We got to find something with Ekeler.
Man, and
here you go. Here you go. Go to that. Go to the rapid fire. Go to the rapid fire. The rapid fire 6x 3 out of 3. Huh? Yeah, but you get 6-1.
Okay, I like it.
I mean, it's got all your guys. You can go basically the same thing.
Man, this one,
Herbert,
this one
Ekeler,
looks incredible. I might have to reload the account again and put some more.
And I mean, wow, I'm actually playing. I'm on this one too. Actually, I'm sticking to it.
Oh, this is receptions. Oh my god, this one's like free money.
Yeah,
Ekeler receptions.
Yeah, that's a really good one. So you got
receiving
Herbert
yards when you got a little white dude against Aguilar.
Yeah. That I'm currently getting in on this one. That I actually really like this one.
I'm gonna have to deposit more because wow, is that tasty.
Yeah, if one of our members get in the Discord and post this one because this is man, that's a good one. How is it only 4.5 Aguilar versus Renfro? That seems like way off.
Yeah, I mean that's an exciting one. Tasty. Right, I'm going over to the Discord right now and posting it in there.
And remember, if you head over to a Monkey Knife Fight, the promo code is Run Pure. Just use that at checkout, and we'll continue to give these winners out. I mean, this thing's hitting. This thing's definitely hitting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure all those are winners we just put in there. So I mean, I feel pretty good about it.
I just want to pull this up. Let me see. Yeah, that 4.5 number just seems way off. So, all right, we like I said, we got to
put that in first because the Aguilar Renfro one's just as tasty with the receiving yards. Yeah, I mean, you're getting 6-1 on that thing. Like, I'll take that all day long.
Yeah, love that one. The promo code is Run Pure when you deposit at Monkey Knife Fight. And like I said, That Discord chat, just very active people in there all day posting stuff. I mean, college basketball, soccer things. I mean, I don't know much about either of those sports, but people in there are posting the winners. I've been kind of hammering the NFL stuff pretty hard. NBA starting next week. They already have some numbers up there for the first 2 NBA games, and got a very strong NBA team. Speaking of NBA, if you use promo code BUCKETS15 on our website, runpuresports.com, 15% off for life as long as you stay on board. We're running this promo up until I think the first night of NBA, so next Tuesday, I want to say. And then that promo will be gone. So if you lock in now, it's 15% off any package on our website. And then so for our playbook for tonight, and we're going to have our core plays out probably about an hour before the game starts, if not earlier. And I don't know, I mean, we've talked about it pretty openly, the guys we like, so I don't think there's not going to be many surprises on tonight's playbook. I don't see much changing.
And literally so it's going to be similar to the game we did the other day, where I think you have to choose Jacobs or the passing game and go one way or the other, and don't go both directions. What was the game we just did the other day where we said this?
Was it the Ravens?
It wasn't
Browns. You're talking about the Browns, right? The Browns.
Yeah, the Browns, exactly, right. Where you had to go Baker or the running game, and it ended up happening where the score was 50-50, so you could have had Baker with the guys.
Yes.
So it's not going to prove my point right now. But, yeah, if the game's 50-50 again, then you can play whoever you want. But if we get somewhat of a normal game flow, I think you should pick Jacobs or the passing game. That's just how I play it. You can choose which way you want to go, but I think that is the right way to do it.
Yep. No, I agree with you.
In the chat, the dude in the chat, too, is saying Ekeler is worse without Allen and Williams. No, I really disagree a lot. I think he gets all the dump downs. I think he is way, way better without those guys. Yeah, I love Ekeler tonight, so I hope get off him. Please get off of him.
Yeah, you can't really make that argument. I mean, a lot of the stuff that Keenan Allen does, Ekeler is just going to be doing. Like Keenan Allen's like a possession, short yardage guy for the most part. Like Austin Ekeler is going to pick up a ton of that. I mean, a ton of it. And Herbert trusts him. Herbert is still unfamiliar with these other wide receivers. He knows what he's getting out of Ekeler. Tons of targets. I mean, I think it's very clear. Just tons of targets. Over on FanDuel, it's more difficult, obviously, to make unique teams. You only have 5 spots. The MVP spot you don't have to pay the extra salary for like you do on DK. You got Herbert at $6K, Carr's $15K, Eckler's $13.5, Jacob $13K, Darren Waller is $5 or $12K. So those are kind of the top 5 guys. In terms of salary, I mean, they're all going to have a ton. But what I think is different here tonight than most slates, like we've last slate, Lamar, you just, for the most part, you're playing Lamar in the MVP. Tonight, I think honestly, all 5 of those guys that I just named could be the MVP that you need to win. And, that's not typically the case on FanDuel. You can usually pinpoint who it's going to be today. I think there's more people that have a chance to be the MVP. Am I crazy to think that?
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of good plays with upside in this game. Obviously, the quarterbacks are going to be the highest owned, but there's tons of guys. I mean, even some of these lesser receivers could easily, like Guyton could house 2 or 3 touchdowns even and be – there's a lot of dudes that could end up in there. I like that too because it just makes it a more complete showdown slate where I hate it when it's Lamar and you just – you have to play him in the top spot, and it's just like you feel like you're lighting money on fire if you don't. Tonight, you're not lighting money on fire by playing at least 4 or 5, maybe even more guys in that spot. I mean, you have legitimately, let me sort it by points. I mean, you're talking Herbert, Carr, Ekeler, Jacob, Waller, minimum those 5, but I honestly think more guys could be there too, including Aguilar, Guyton, Henry, even Tyron Johnson, I don't think is the worst play ever tonight in that spot. Tonight's a good night to play FanDuel because you can get a little different without being too crazy.
You're just playing on FanDuel. I play on there a lot. I mean, most people are playing the quarterbacks more times than not. It's going to be the quarterbacks, and honestly, more times than not, they're the ones that are the highest scoring. But tonight, you can make the case for a lot of guys. I mean, a lot of these wide receivers have 2 touchdown upside. Ekeler, 2 touchdown upside. Jacobs, obviously multiple touchdown upside. So you can make the case for all those guys get a ton of leverage by doing something different than the quarterbacks in the MVP spot tonight. We have the cheap plays as well. All the guys that we talked about before. We have let's see, Renfro 7.5, Guyton 7K, Tyron Johnson 6.5K. Hill is, I want to say, the minimum of 5K. So we have 4 or 5 dudes under 8K that are in play. It's the same story on FanDuel. I mean, leave the money on the table. Don't be afraid to do so. I mean, especially if you're playing a quarterback in the MVP spot. Like, you should definitely be, if you're going to play Carr or Herbert in the MVP spot, you want to leave, for me personally, you want to leave a good chunk of change on the table. Like, if you're going to end at Ekeler at 10.5K, just say, you know what? I'm not doing that. I'm going to drop down to Guyton and just leave that 3,500 on the table. Or I'm going to drop down to Tyron Johnson, leave that 4K on the table, and hope, he outscores a guy like Ekeler. So to me, I'm going to play all these cheap dudes, but I'm going to definitely be looking to mix and match my MVPs and also combine that with leaving money on the table. I think it's a perfect slate to do that.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, just for an example of FanDuel, like how easy it is tonight. Like, if I play Herbert, Ekeler, Jacobs, which you could play Carr too, like we said, choose, but just to show how it works. I mean, you got 87.50 to play 2 more pass catchers with the Chargers, to play whoever, a kicker the other way. 87.50, you got all kinds of options for those last 2 spots to correlate it. I mean, you can, like, if you play Carr instead of Jacobs, you still got 70. So I think this will be the most popular build. Herbert, Carr, Ekeler, and then a pass catcher from each side to fill out your team. Like, you're going to chop a bazillion ways if you play that. Like,
yeah,
without a doubt. Like, it's just the easiest thing ever. Like, I can play, like, look at the team you can freaking build. I haven't even run the optimals, but say I play Guyton, leaves me 85 freaking hundred left to play a Raiders pass catcher, which who'd you say was, didn't you say Renfro 75?
Yeah, 75, yeah.
Yeah, so you got Herbert, Ekeler, Guyton, Carr, and Renfro. Like, that team will split a bazillion ways.
Yeah. Real quick, make sure you hit the like and subscribe so we can continue to do these videos. We're at, it's 240 watching. We got 80 likes, and we got to get up to like 130. Or get up to 130, we'll give some gear away. I mean, we've touched on all these plays. We're going to actually do something a little bit different. We're going to take some questions here. Big T and I are a fan of our YouTube people and followers, so we're going to hang around and do some questions. So just put RPS in capital letters in front and then ask a question, and we'll kind of go through them here in the next few minutes after we wrap up FanDuel. But hit the like button and subscribe. That helps us out a ton. Continue on talking about FanDuel.
Yeah, I mean, it's the more I build, the more I'm thinking I'm going to play Jacobs. It just shows you how I like to do these shows when we first start looking at it.
Yeah.
Always gives us a first take look. I just think the build is better with Jacobs. It just gives you more chemistry, where the Raiders are favored by 3.5. If they do hold to that and they win the game, Jacobs should theoretically play better from ahead. And then naturally the Chargers are playing from behind. It just fits a lot better than trying to play Carr with a couple pass catchers. It's easy because I like all the Chargers, so it's easier to kind of play 2 pass catchers with Herbert the other way. It's just a natural fit. So we started the show by saying I'd probably fade Jacobs. Now I'm probably thinking I might fade Carr. So I've kind of flip-flopped on that. And I'm interested to hear what you think cash-wise on that. But tournament-wise, I think it's a pretty good route.
Yeah, I mean, cash-wise, I think I more lean the quarterbacks, just because, I mean, the running backs are so touchdown dependent.
Even FanDuel with the touchdowns and stuff.
Yeah, I think so. I think I'm still gonna lean like playing Derek Carr. Jacobs, I mean, yeah, obviously more in play on FanDuel, the way the scoring's set up, touchdown dependent. He's a touchdown guy. But I still think I would lean going David or Derek Carr over Jacobs in cash games. Now that could change when I start digging through stuff a little deeper, but as of now, I think that's the preferred route for sure.
And so the chat says KJ Hill a good cash play at 200. I'll give my opinion, and then Hoop can give the actual opinion. But anybody that's going to play, he's going to be Keenan Allen's direct replacement. He's 200 and he's on the field. Yeah. Like, I think that's always a good play. Hoop may tell you different. That's my opinion.
I mean, 200. I mean, when you're looking at cash, I mean, you would just want, 5x or 6x or whatever the multiplier may be for what you're trying to get out of your players. Like at $200, if he gets like one catch for 10 yards, like he's paid off, as long as there's guys to spend up for. You don't want to play the $200 guy with like a zero floor if you don't have guys to spend up for. Well, we just talked for an hour about like 8 guys that we want to spend up for, both quarterbacks, Ekeler, Derek Carr, or not Carr, but Jacobs, Waller, Ekeler, Henry. Like there's a ton of guys to play. So yeah, I mean, if you can go super cheap down to $200 and get exposure to the 5 highest projected dudes, then yeah, absolutely, I'd do it. Like it doesn't matter. And in cash
zero
games,
isn't even going to kill you anymore.
That's what I was going to say. If you get a zero,
unless it's 50-50 again, like the other night, that's zero.
Well, yeah, a zero is going to absolutely kill you, and that's obviously
it's a normal game flow. Even if it's like 27-24 type game, 30-27, a zero still isn't going to kill you because the stars are they're going to do good in most of the time in games like that.
Yeah, the first question I see here: Raiders really going to win this game? Come on, guys! If you're going to ask questions, like ask a real question relevant to like DFS.
I mean, it's 2 teams that are reeling too. Like you got to subscribe to the site. 85. We'll have winners up on the bet side. I know the last 2 games I've hit the first touchdown prop 30-1 and 8-1. So I'm going to put that up again tonight. But
yeah, our boy Landa, who mad respect to Landa. I mean, Landa's he battles for us in the chat. Like he battles for us on Twitter. Landa's my boy, man. I love Landa.
I just sent him some gear today, big Landa.
Yeah, we're gonna have to, man. Landa's a good dude. He's battling too on Twitter. Like people say dumb shit. Like he's in there, like he's got our back like that. Yep. Paragraph stuff too. It's not like he's just a little comment. Like he's setting people straight. I didn't hear talk about Hunter Henry. Should we be projecting him 6 to 8 targets? Yeah, I mean I think 6 to 8 targets is very reasonable. I like him. We talked about him on the monkey knife fight play. I mean, like I said, I mean, yes, these young wide receivers, all great plays, but man, like nobody has a better connection with Herbert than Henry on the field tonight. Henry and Ekeler. So I really like Henry. I mean, I'm going to have a ton of Henry tonight.
Yep. I mean, he's definitely one of the better plays of the night. Absolutely.
Yeah. Playing the 3K million. I didn't see that tonight. So thoughts on Henry with Allen and Williams out? No one. I mean, maybe we didn't talk enough about Henry. I mean, talk about Henry a little bit.
Some of plays like this, guys. Like when we talk about liking the Chargers passing game, like sometimes we don't talk about the good plays like this. Yeah.
Or the obvious plays. To me, I think he's the obvious play.
Like if we like the Chargers passing game, we're definitely going to like Henry. But yeah, I mean, just to simplify it, we definitely like him.
Yeah. Going 5-1 lineup construction on either team, is that viable tonight?
In Showdown, it's always both sides is viable. Always. I don't even care what the game is. If you go 5-1 is your best chance to win the tournament. It might not be your best chance to cash the tournament, but it is almost always your best chance to win the tournament a huge amount. And sometimes it's even with the dog, like the Chargers 5-1 tonight. It easily has probably the best chance to win this tournament tonight. So it's always viable. But again, it's tournament. Cash-wise, you're not going to want to go 5-1 very often because it's just not – unless it's like a huge spread or something. But a game like this, definitely 5-1 is viable. Both directions.
Yeah. Here's a good question. Can you talk about contest selection on FanDuel where it's hard to get unique lineups? I'll touch on it first. We've done a lot of shows here where, we get to the FanDuel thing section and we'll say, you know what, I don't think you need the 150 tonight if you're a 20. First off, do whatever you're comfortable with. Like if you're typically somebody that builds just 20 lineups, don't say you have to do 150. Like, first off, do what you're comfortable with. Tonight, I think you can do, whatever you want to do on FanDuel, whatever you normally do, whatever you feel comfortable doing, because what we talked about. We know the quarterbacks are going to be popular in the MVP spot. There's still 4 other guys, 5 other guys, maybe 6 other guys that have a real shot at being the MVP tonight. So it's going to be easier tonight to get unique than normal, like we just saw on the last slate with Lamar Jackson. Yes, everyone's going to play Lamar Jackson in the MVP spot. 95% of the time, he's the MVP that you need. So it makes it boring. Tonight, though, me, Tony, and I both agree, like, there's 6, 7, maybe 8 guys that have a realistic chance of getting in there and being the one you need in the MVP slot. So for me, play whatever you feel comfortable with tonight on FanDuel.
I always think it's something that, I think I'm decent at too, where if it's just say I had $100 to play tonight, I'm going to put $100 into play. I would honestly play all these little single entries first, like $25, $10, $5, all these ones. I'm sitting here looking at them right now, all the way down the list. Yeah. And then I'd put 2 bullets in the $7.77 one. One of them would be my main team, and then the other 1 or 2 would be just darts, where I pick a script. Maybe I go 5-1 Raiders, or maybe I go whatever. Just pick some fun ones and put them in there. So that would be 14 out of your $100, and the rest of it's just your main team, your one team that you can put, maybe even put in a double up or a triple up, and the single entries, and just to where you got one solid team with your favorite plays. You're not worried about chopping with that one. If you chop, you chop. And then 2, where you're taking a little stab, maybe have some fun with it. That's what I would do if I had 100. Same thing if I had 20. Like if I had 20, maybe I'd put one team in the big one and $5 single entry, and same type thing. Like be safe with some of them and then gamble with some other ones is what I would do.
Yeah. I like that call. Jose Flores, you must not have been watching the show early on, because considering fading both defenses, Big T has written off defenses for at least 3.
Especially tonight, though. Consider fading them. It's a 53 total. Definitely tonight you can fade. But we're writing them off on this show.
It's a 3 slate, at least a 3 slate ban for Big T on defenses. Andy promised gear if you see him with a lineup.
That goes for everybody too, so that holds me true, because there's 259 watching right now, and a bunch will rewatch this later today. If anyone sees me with a defense in Showdown, the rest of the regular season, you get gear. So that means I'm not doing it, because I'm not sending out that much gear, I promise you.
Yeah. Randy just wondered who's going to be on the NBA show. The NBA show is coming up, I believe, 6 Eastern, I want to say. It's Mangone and JSU, and it's a pretty big slate. I think 6 or 7 games, so pretty big edge. And those guys have been tracking the preseason very closely, and that's kind of where you can get your biggest edge. So we got second place. One of our members got second place in the big $15 last night. I think it was 16,000, somewhere in that range. And I believe
crushing.
Yeah, they use the cores right off our website, which is part of the premium package. Buckets 15. Use that promo code, you get access to everything. You can even do a weekly if you just want to try for a week. It would only be, the math, I think it'd be $16, right? $16. It's normally 20. So 20 15. Yeah, it's like 16, $17, whatever it is. You can give it a try, and if you don't like it, you can cancel it after a week, but I think you'll like it. Any other questions, guys? Let's see. Yeah, all right. I don't know. I think that's good.
Our boy Joe Con in the chat, dude. I was sending the gear today. You didn't get, but you sent me. You said I won some swag, claiming it. You got to send me an address and a size and info. You can't just say I got to claim my gear. What am I going to send it to? The North Pole? I got to know where to send it, Joe Con. I sent you a Discord. You got to send me it. I'll get it out. I'll get it out here quick.
He said, if not, he'll just send it to Santa Claus and he'll deliver it. You'll have it Christmas morning under that tree.
In all seriousness, though, the people watching and get the gear, when you send in your info, you got to send all the info, your shirt size, your address. So many times we get these and we don't have any of the. He says he sent. So I blame JSU then, Joe Con. I blame him. So I apologize. Either way, we'll get it out to you here shortly.
Yes. All right. Anything else? I mean, I think we covered it pretty well. Got some nice winners lined up. We can get Mr. Ekeler a 30 spot and we'll be good to
Oh,
go,
he's
right?
going to too. Like he's going to crush tonight for us.
Yeah, I'm feeling good. It's going to be finally we get a game where, I mean, obviously we had the scoring last game, but we didn't really, no one projected that sort of scoring tonight though. You can kind of bank on it, I think, and it should be a fun game for DFS with all these cheap guys that are in play. And then it's always fun when you have cheap dudes and studs and a lot of studs. Like, there's a lot of studs today, so a lot of guys could do some damage. It makes it fun for Showdown. So I'm definitely looking forward to the game. NBA preseason, like I said, that tips off, I believe, at 7 p.m. Eastern. Our guys are going on, I think 6:15 right up to lock. Are they doing the shows for free? I think they're free, right?
Yeah,
they'll be free on this channel.
We'll make it free for the people.
Yeah, it's going to be free up until the season starts, and then the up to lock show will go to premium. Maybe the first slate we'll do the premium for free. We'll see how that all shakes out. But yeah, I mean, in terms of the NBA YouTube shows, we're going to be on. We're going to have a show every day. 2 hours before lock, and then 1 hour before lock, going straight up to lock. The first one's going to be free. The second one's going to be premium. We have our entire team on the playbook, core plays. I think we'll have tiers, which is just basically like a ranking system. Discord, we'll have our whole team in Discord up till chat if you have any questions. So it's a good time to sign up. The promo code is Buckets15, 15% off for life. If you want to do the DFS plus bets, that would be $85, locks you in. And those guys are on a heater. I don't know any other way. If you bet sports, I mean, these guys are on an absolute heater over there, including you, man. Like you've been, I mean, I know I'm not sure how the whole units thing worked, but you're up like 100 and some units, right?
Yeah. I mean, if you put $100 on the games, you'd be up whatever, 125 units. So $12,500 on the season, $100 a game. Granted, I've run good. I'll admit I've run good. There was a couple close calls that I won, and I hit a 30-1 touchdown thing. But it doesn't matter how you get there, right? All that matters is when you collect the biscuits.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just all about stacking the cheese, man. You just got to stack. It doesn't matter how you stack it, but if you stack it, you stack it, and that's all that really matters.
When you run pure, you run pure.
Exactly. So yeah, definitely check out the site. Like I said, a lot of different packages. We have monthly, weekly, whatever it may be. You can do the weekly with bets and DFS. We have everything on there. It's easy to figure out at checkout, but promo code is Buckets15 to get you that 15% off. All right, well, that's going to do it for us. Like I said, we got the NBA show coming up at 6 or 6:15. Should be a fun game tonight. Like I said, we'll be back. What do we got? The schedule gets crazy here with NBA and NFL.
We got the day-to-day thing.
Yeah, so Showdown, the next Showdown NFL would be Sunday Night Football. I don't even know who's playing, but we'll have obviously content for that.
I think we're doing our normal Friday night show, so we'll have the Showdown live tomorrow night if anyone wanted to watch.
Yep, and then we'll be back. Tony and I will be back for the Monday night game.
Next week's going to be crazy with Christmas and basketball and football and Saturday slates and Showdown slates, and we're going to have a fun little Christmas week of trying to get some content.
It is going to be wild. There's a 3-game Saturday slate. There's a showdown, I believe, on Christmas Day. It's going to get crazy, so buckle up.
You should be paying the $85 too, right? Like, not just because it's us. Like, if you're with your families on Christmas and you're going this direction and that direction, and there's nothing better than just sign on, look at the core plays, read an article, and make picks, and then root.
Yeah, I mean, if you sign up now, you're definitely getting your money's worth. You got the preseason NBA, you got all these NFL slates, regular season NBA.
Not to mention the bet side too. Like, what's the only, because I'm not a huge all year round sports better, but this is the time of year you want action when you're hanging out with the family on Christmas and there's a football game or a basketball all day Saturday, on Christmas. Like, what's better than firing a few bets and finding some winners? That's the best.
Big Randy Smith wants to know if you're dressing up like Santa for the Xmas show. Listen, if we got that promo code. If we get 10 people sign up, I'll get Big T in a Santa suit. I'll promise you that.
More than 10 people to get me in a Santa outfit.
Oh yeah, that's fun. All right, cool. All right, we're gonna get on out of here. Good luck to everyone tonight. For Big T, I'm Hoop. We'll be back with our normal content throughout the week. Good luck to everyone.